And so, on this special day, the full moon day of the fourth month, Sakadawa, the fourth month, and having this opportunity to gather together to accumulate virtue is very, very fortunate.
And this Sanji Chunde, the Lodi Tongaji, Kaja Thomas Sanji Kabaya, Tatano Shoki, and it Tatonaya, Tamoto Sanji.
And so about 2,500 years ago, on this day, at the dawn on this day, Buddha Shakyamuni performed the deed of gaining enlightenment.
And young Pagumba, that Kinyan Namjataya, that
and also today's on this day, he performed the deed of passing away into Parinirvana.
And he should not have the Takaji.
And also they said that some believe that today is also the day that he was born. So these three occasions at the same time. And so anyway, so it is a very, very special day today. And so today is also the moon eclipse day. Is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Lunar
moon
eclipse. Lunar eclipse.
Lunar or?
We say the
lunar. Not a solar?
Solar means sun.
No, but not solar?
No,
lunar
not
or solar? Solar.
It's lunar.
Okay. And so because of this special day, it is said that if you recite one mantra, or one Om Mani Padme Hum, then it is equal to reciting 100,000 Om Mani Padme Hum. The benefit is equal to reciting 100,000 times. So same with other virtuous actions, such as making one body lamp offering or light offering. If you make one light offering, it becomes the same as making 100,000 light offerings. And so on this day in India and Tibet and anywhere in the Tibetan monasteries or community, they're all very busy accumulating virtues. And so here also same in the Tibetan community, the Tibetans from the Tibetan community. Usually you don't see them around so much, but today there was like continuously somebody coming all the time and making offerings, reciting prayers and so forth.
and they make a heart of us. That the previous election, Chumi Pens, or Touch of the Namazo, Chulaya, Chumi Pian, Kamari, so I
so in Tibetan culture or tradition, making light offerings is very much emphasized as a form of practicing virtue, and that's why we're also planning to build a lighthouse outside there, to motherland house. Lights. So you see it outside here, right? There's like a dome outside. That's a lighthouse, light offering. And so we don't allow people to offer inside, because it creates so much smoke and makes the place dark. So therefore we put it outside, and the people always make offerings there. They offer 50s, 100s at a time. And you can also do that. And so I'm sure many of you have taken 8 minor precept today, right, this morning, and also now we have this opportunity to gather together to discuss about the paths and grounds, and then later after this we'll also be doing the medicine with the puja. So it's a very a great opportunity for us to accumulate merits. So at this, at the time like this, if you can accumulate merit, and it becomes a great merit, it multiplies by 100,000 times. So it's a great opportunity to take advantage of accumulating merit. So if you accumulate merit, if you have a lot of merit, then whatever wishes you have will all be accomplished. I don't remember in India, but if it's like in Tibet, on the lunar eclipse day, people will not sleep the whole night. They will do practice beside Om Mani Padme and so forth throughout the night. And that's because they believe that if you do one, it becomes 100,000 times. So you have more to gain if you create any merits on that day. And so this is a great opportunity, and also very fortunate for us to be able to gather together here to do the practice.
Okay. Then now we go to the complicated place. Everybody ready? Okay, with the leopard 2000. Brainwash.
Brainwash.
Can you say? Leopard 2000.
Maybe you want to say clean your brain, or what? Does he really mean brainwash?
No, it's stir your brain.
Lepa.
Yeah, stir. No, stir.
Okay. Like making soup.
Yeah. Like you stir your brain. It means like, use your brain.
Okay, good.
Brainwash means what?
Brainwash? That's not good. Brainwash means like somebody control you. Like a puppet. They tell you everything to think, and you can't think for yourself.
That's what he does.
Really?
Try to make you believe they're television commercials, brainwashing.
Oh yeah, they have always that.
They just like staring.
They're like communism.
Yeah.
Brainwash. And the number 2000.
Oh no, it's different. Because it doesn't tell you you can't think. No, not me.
야, 되는 다 되는 거다. 간제 다 되게 상황 뭐 따지고 들어와.
So now, anyway, so here you have to make use of your brain, stir your brain, or make use of your brain.
다 가지고 괜히 가라마면 이제 더 여자시다. 손이 같으시던 양분이 이제 여자시다. 아니 대기가 쓰지는 여자시다. 나 이제 더 빠지면 이제 더 말하고 그런 말인데 이제 더 여자시 되실 때는 왔어.
So, where did we stop last time? Page 19?
Yes. Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
We stopped right before talking about the here's path of seeing, of exalted wisdom, of subsequent attainment. We talked a lot about the exalted wisdom, meditative equipoise.
앞에서 하고 올라가 니네 돌아 받치면은 정말 친주 친구 이시 니네 돌아 받치면은 니네 돌아 나눠놨는데 냐바시한테 찍으려는 거 들어와.
And so now you know that the supreme mundane quality of the path of preparation, and the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing, and the path of release of the path of seeing, they all occur at one meditative session, right? You know that, right?
Okay.
Right? In one meditative session.
You just told us that.
Continue.
You know that, right?
Now we do, because you just told us.
Told us last week.
So you only know now, you didn't know before.
He was not here last week.
No, I've heard it before.
Okay.
다 니네 돌아 제답시 당도 제답시다 그래서 제답시다 됐다 강답들 내한테 주기도 좋아.
So, not good.
내한테 제답시로. 된 도와 니한테 돌아 넘어라래. 나가겠나 니한테 돌아 넘어라래 다. 니가 세배서 니한테 제답하면서 강하지. 가랑한테는 지금 뭐라고 그래. 내한테 좀 와서 니한테 돌아 제답시고 되니 들어와.
And so now we go to the subsequent attainment, right? Subsequent attainment. And so here is just the definition. This is a clear realization of the truth of a hearer who has risen from the path of release of the path of seeing of a hearer, and which is manifestly in the continuum, and of a person who possesses that in her continuum. Possesses that in her continuum.
된지로서 가는데 오셔가지고 나타나 된지디 그나타 제도시 세대 냐녀시 세대 그나 맞아 이 금이다 가는 거래서 제도시 세대 땅이 다 주세서 기잖아 그거.
So during the meditative equipoise, you're in that absorption, right? You know, like sleeping. And then when you are during the subsequent attainment, and you awake in like an awakened state, you're out of that meditative state.
이 그대로 가도 나도 이게 가로 다 이거 시바도 시바도 그다 반여야 되거든. 내가 지금 말하고.
So at the time of sleep, the consciousness is manifesting. Not all other consciousnesses are kind of sleeping. You know, they're not actively running around. Right? But we do have those consciousnesses, right?
What? 다 제도지 센서말라 다 이래야 세네 다 내가 지금 나가. 다 내가 뒤가려야 나도 이 세운도 삼말라 다 나도 지지. 와서 나가도 시바 딱 저는 내가 지금 봤어.
So when you're in the subsequent attainment, then you are kind of like awake, you know, from that sleep or absorption, and so now all your senses, you know, all your other consciousnesses are actively functioning.
다 던져 가려고 하면 다 들리 제타 받으나 다 야지 대지집에나 장식을 셈세하도. 어떤데 니제 침모세요. 다 들려주고 배나 파주도 그냥 내가 사고 사주고 봐.
And so that exalted wisdom of a subsequent attainment. So what is the example of that? So the example of that can be all the practice of the 6 perfections, the wisdom realized in emptiness, or the bodhicitta, or within the continuum of that person. This can all be example of exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment. So now you understand the meditative equipoise and the subsequent attainment, right? So there's the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment. So you know the difference now, right? Is there any doubt? And so if it manifests, if it occurs manifestly in the continuum of a person who possesses that in her continuum, is it necessary to be exalted wisdom of a subsequent attainment?
Right.
If you're asked that, what would you say?
Can you repeat the question?
So here in the definition it says clear realization of the truth of a hearer who has risen from the path of release of the path of seeing of a hearer, which is manifestly in the continuum. Manifestly in the continuum. What is manifestly in the continuum? The clear realization of the truth, right? That's manifestly in the continuum. Now, of a person who possesses that in her continuum. So whoever possesses that, that in the clear realization of truth, whoever is possessing it, that is manifesting at that time. And so, if it is manifesting at that time, then it is said to be the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, right? So now the Geshe-la's question is, if it is, if that exalted wisdom, whatever kind of exalted wisdom it is, if that exalted wisdom is manifesting in his continuum, who possesses it, is it necessary to be the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment? So he's not mentioning, he's not saying all part of the definition, right? So the part where it says arisen from the path of release of the path of seeing. We're not saying that part.
So then no.
So
because it could be.
So you have to understand. You have to see which part of the definition he's not saying, and then you see if any part of the definition is missing, or is there any addition to the part of the definition. And so if the clear realization of the truth is manifesting in the continuum of the person who possesses that in her continuum, is it necessary to be the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment?
No.
Okay, good. What example?
Because
example.
It could just be it could be the exalted wisdom of the absorption or whatever we're calling Nyamsha Geshe.
Mm-hmm.
So the Nyamsha Geshe is not a Jeto.
Yeah, not Jeto.
Just a reminder, we can't hear anyone in the audience on the recording or online if we don't use the microphone.
What's Nyamsha Geshe?
That's the one that we did before. So
the clear realization of truth in the continuum of the meditative equipoise.
Right? Yes.
So is that's manifesting in the continuum of the person who possesses it?
You would assume so, yeah. Otherwise, how can they know that it's there? I mean,
okay, then why it is not Jetavish?
Because they haven't arisen from the meditative equipoise yet, from the non-draw line.
Path of release.
Yeah, the path of release. They haven't arisen from the path of release.
That's right.
Good. It's real preach.
So you understand others?
You guys got it? The different. It's real preach the guy.
So, when we talk about the subsequent attainment, the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, then it has to be arisen from that meditative equipoise. So first you go into meditation, right? And then you meditate and you have defeated that opponent delusion, and then after that you get out from that. So you have to be one who has awakened from that meditative absorption, who have come out from that meditative absorption. And if you don't come out from that, then it's not a subsequent attainment.
You got it?
So that was the part that was missing, right?
So after the, sorry.
Yeah.
Andy, can
I have mine from Andy.
Yeah.
All right, just take the mic. You don't
So after the path of release,
Yes.
then you're no longer in the meditative equipoise. Is that
So
what you just said? In
need-
order
when you awaken,
so after the path
or when you are risen from the
so when you arise after the release,
Yes.
then so at the point of the exalted wisdom or subsequent attainment, you're no longer in meditative equipoise.
yeah. 냠살이 말았어. 랑서는 남도라는 야 랑바인 당바인은 냠살이 말았어.
돼요, 말이야.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Same thing you get up to sleep.
Yeah.
So when you wake up, you're not sleeping. You're no longer sleeping, right? It's just like that.
But usually we say when we lay down, we say, I'm sleeping.
Right.
Right? Sleep is you just close your eyes, you call sleeping, or when you lay down, you say, I'm sleeping. What do you say? What do you call sleep? Sleep is what? Just you lay down, you say sleep?
No.
What do you call when you lay down? What do you say? I'm lay down.
Lay down.
When you're on the bed, you lay down. What do you say? Just I'm lay down.
Yeah.
You not say I'm sleeping.
Correct.
Oh, really? Is that all?
Okay, so there's
I think it's better to call when we lay down on the bed.
these
We
all
say,
three happen within one
I'm not sure.
meditative session. Once the meditative session is over and you stand up, then it's jhana.
That is anyway, now you guys understand a little different. I told you this thing, they make little word, they make big difference. I give everybody got it? Geshe meji ta nyinti to nandore lawe nyinti de bangne to na nyinti to nandore lawe ta thoma iba kanchila ane rajila de kanche nyinti jo ori tela nyinti ta jedo shite re wa.
And so anyway, it has to be exalted wisdom, that manifest, right? That manifest after one has arisen from the path of release of the path of sin, or the path of release, not the path of sin, but path of release, right? And that exalted wisdom of a truth, which exists in the continuum of the person, who possesses it.
Geshe maje thambo nyinti jomon bade 추저심이 동바지나 냠바샤하게 그래서 대 동바지나 냠바샤하데 동바지 녀스 남 동바나 대저도 받지만 차서 말이죠. 대대서 그다 응인이 차서 말이죠.
And so the person on the supreme mundane quality level of the path of preparation, when he or she goes into meditation on emptiness, and then the moment he realizes, she realizes the emptiness directly, then the person becomes a meditator or a practitioner on the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing, right? And then during that time, he or she overcomes or abandons the opponent delusion, which is the intellectual, right? The Korean intellectual, maybe intellectual is better, intellectual delusion, and then when you have overcome that, then you achieve the path of release of having overcome that, and so that all happens in the same in one meditative session.
아니 되네 되다 된 그다 남방하나 다 너너너 남방하나 저거.
And so whenever you have abandoned that, by applying this opponent power, whenever you have abandoned that, then you achieve the path of release.
진짜 다 저거 냠바샤 때 찍이다 아니 강한 냠자 특징을 개발하더라고 그러더라고.
And so they all happen in one meditative session. So it goes in one session, in one single session, you achieve all these three.
다 되네 다 그거거든 동업인 뭐까지 빵 해야 돼 거다 대빵 사서마다 콜레칸도 그런 거 깝티가 차와다 다 신바지야 mov시와라 아니 양 쏘는 거 쳤어 그러더라고.
And so that time, what is this opponent, opponent and the delusion that is to be abandoned, is the intellectual delusion, right? So then, in order to move up, and to abandon the higher level of the delusion, and you have to come out and then accumulate more merit. A lot of meditation. And so while you are meditating on emptiness, you are accumulating the accumulation of wisdom. And so after you have come out of meditation on emptiness, and then you engage in the practice of generosity, engaging in practicing morality, and so forth. At that time you are accumulating the accumulation of merit. So among these two accumulations, the accumulation of merit and accumulation of wisdom, when we engage in the practice of making offerings, prostrations, circumambulations, and so forth, we are accumulating the merit.
Then when we meditation the emptiness, follow the to get the slip, then this is we call
so if you meditate on emptiness while falling asleep, then that's called accumulation of wisdom.
Sometimes people meditation, then just be checked, then they go to sleep. Today that kanji maji nyamjani jetalo ti shangwe ta gubara wote ani sonam go ta nam kumar bhavala nam sonam go tsaksa go basa tejini ko.
So the reason why they arise from the meditative equipoise and go into the subsequent attainment is because in order to move up to the higher level of path, and you have to accumulate merit. So the reason for that is to go out and accumulate merit. And so all that qualities of generosity, the morality, and effort, and so forth, in the continuum of that person is called the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment. So now you understand the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, and exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, right? You understand the difference? Don't be confused. If you're confused here, then you'll be confused later on, again and again.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So the path of release.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, once you've arisen from the meditative equipoise, is it ever the case that you re-enter the equipoise and go again through the uninterrupted path of release, or does it only happen once?
Yeah. Definitely not. That is how I am. Young general teacher, young son of Tosali, young, easy to Tosali, and Tonya Panya Masha.
Was a Nyamsha down here, and you never tell how to do it.
I don't know.
No. Then you just move to the...
Yeah.
So the moment you are out of that meditative equipoise, you're already in the post-meditative equipoise.
But then when you re-enter equipoise later, are you now on the Gomlam, the path of meditation, or are you still considered on the?
So it's not necessary. There's no certainty. You arise, you come out of the meditative equipoise of the path of seeing, Right? Either the uninterrupted part or the part of release, you come out of that, and then you go into meditation again. Says, okay, now I'm going to meditate on emptiness, right? So you're meditating on emptiness, you're in meditative equipoise. So that meditative equipoise is not necessary, to be the meditative equipoise of the path of meditation.
And then Jeta is the number pass shani, and that then the legera choose Taram that then the top should have a the Indian Rotu Munduna, the Yajoko Jeta Shani, and this one was going to start to read through.
So when you're Madobena, Pachimana, understand, right? So you arise back into meditation. I mean, you arise from that meditation, and then you are now in the subsequent attainment, meditative equipoise, post-meditative equipoise, and you engage in those practices of accumulating merit. And after that, you say, okay, now I'm going to go and meditate on emptiness. So you go and meditate on emptiness. So that meditation on emptiness, becomes the uninterrupted part of the path of meditation or not. Depends on whether it becomes an opponent to it is concording delusion or not.
The innate.
The innate, the delusion. I mean, the innate obstruction. So if it becomes the innate obstruction, if it becomes the opponent to the corresponding delusion, then it becomes uninterrupted part of the path of meditation. Otherwise, it doesn't become.
So then, basically, once you arise from the path of release, then all of the intellectual obscuration is gone.
The namdolan ya lang shandone, and the koran the gasa the dekonda some of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
All gone.
You must be brave.
Yeah. When you have this chip, then you all free from death. Okay. Okay. Now try to don't forget. Okay. That's everything you can't mind. That's it.
So now you see that that which is not neither of those two, right? Meditative equipoise and the post-meditative equipoise, or exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of the subsequent attainment. Neither of those two, right? So that which is neither of these two roots.
That's everything you can't mind.
And so here, in English it gives quite clear, in Tibetan it's not clear, but here it says neither an exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise nor an exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment.
So where?
The Indian option.
Okay, that is what Karadu Yindi Tono Pachemana, Yindi Tono Monology, Semijeda, and Teddy Tiji Tawatan Yirada. And Yindi Tono Jedovici, Tony to be Lotu, that Yindi Tono Pachemano, Yojo Maris.
And so that which is neither of these two, right? That which neither of these two are here refers to the four immeasurables in the continuum of one on the uninterrupted path. So the four immeasurables in the uninterrupted path of a hearer's path of seeing and the path of release of the hearer's path of seeing, and an awareness which seeks liberation. And a knower realizing the direct perception of emptiness in the continuum of one having subsequent attainment of a hearer's path of seeing, and a knower realizing the direct perception of the emptiness of duality in the continuum of one having subsequent attainment of a hearer's path of seeing. So those are neither of those two.
Okay. You sure you got sure 100%?
So which one?
Do I need to use the thing again?
Why don't you keep it?
Okay, so it says the four immeasurables in the continuum of a person on the uninterrupted path.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, if you are meditating on emptiness, are you doing the four immeasurables at the same time? Or
Well, you have, right? You have in your continuum.
Okay.
Don't you have it? It's
Well,
not manifesting, but it's there, right?
Okay, yeah, that's the question. So it's like the renunciation that we talked about before.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's there, it's not manifesting at that time, but it's there.
Okay. Anybody a little bit dark? If you are a little dark, then you understand.
Anybody else? Go.
If you are not dark, just put some big tanky put water, then nothing changes, then you really difficult. Then that teaches Temeja, you need to patch Malama, Temeja, that you don't patch Malama, might be getting carrots, patch Malama, patch Malama, Kala, you don't patch Malama, Namdero.
So the four immeasurable within the continuum of a person on uninterrupted path, is not uninterrupted path, right? The four immeasurables within the continuum of a person who is on uninterrupted path is not uninterrupted path, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Because they're the four immeasurables. Because
not a good reason.
Because the uninterrupted path, is an exalted wisdom realizing emptiness. The four immeasurables aren't.
Not that reason.
So why is it not exalted wisdom or subsequent attainment?
Because the release is not over. The path of release is started, but it's not over.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, you're right. You have to rise from the path of release, right?
Finish it.
How on that? Why, that is that they look on a chibarita, Tawati, Losada, and the chibarita. Tati all that, that needed on Jetavi, Tony to Velote, Tony to Velote, or that day that Jeta is minded the rest.
So yeah, one reason is that it's still in the uninterrupted path, right? So it's not not arisen from that path of release, right? So that's true. So anyway, below that it says that the wisdom lies in emptiness, right? And the direct, it says that what does it say here? A direct perception of emptiness in the continuum of one having subsequent attainment, right? So you are meditating on emptiness, and then you have abandoned the delusion that you are supposed to abandon at that time, right? And then you come out of that meditation. So now you're in a post-meditative equipoise, right? You're no longer in meditation, but you still have that wisdom realizing emptiness directly, right? So that wisdom realizing emptiness directly in the continuum of a person who is out of meditation is not the subsequent attainment. Why? Right? It's not that, right? It's not the subsequent, not exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, and it's not exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, right? Why is it not exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment? Andy?
Why are you picking on me?
You're a PhD, buddy. I cook food.
Anybody have something? Idea, any idea? Yeah, please.
Because it's no, what's it? The I don't have the English translation here. The Rangyu Dengi Kansaki Kiba Mungyu Dujumo. So you can use this one. So let's see, where is it?
Hold on a second, Andy. Did you have something?
Yeah,
you had it?
Say.
Oh yeah, good.
I want him to say.
Good say.
I want him to say.
This one again.
Let's see.
That realization is still attached to the previous, so you haven't quite released fully into the next. I don't know the right vocabulary for it, but that's how it feels to me.
So you were saying that is attached to the...
It's still part of the previous
in the meditative
equipoise, so you haven't quite let go. So you haven't quite released it yet, and you haven't moved out completely.
this is the parchim jadushi of yamas, jadushi mares. So what do you mean by not kind of giving it up? So you're still there, right?
You're still there, you're not meditating anymore.
You're not meditating anymore. You still have it, right?
But you
So
still,
it's not meditating, you're not meditating on it.
I mean, not meditating, so past out of meditation, but still not quite moved yet into sort of letting go and
So you have it,
part of things.
but it's not, so you have it, but you're not meditating on it right now.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and that is very similar to what Andy said, right? So it's not manifesting,
Yeah.
right? So if it is, it has to manifest, right? So that's why it is. So during the post-meditative equipoise or during the, the subsequent attainment, it has to manifest. Whatever quality that is described as the subsequent attainment, it has to manifest. Right? So that's definition. In the definition, you see, right?
Yeah.
You have to check the definition. So the definition there, it says this, the path of seeing of a hearer and which is manifestly in the continuum of a person who possesses that in her continuum. So it has to be manifesting it. So because the wisdom realizing emptiness directly at that time is not manifesting, therefore you say it is not.
So in those instances where we have a definition that says it's neither of these two, it seems like that's not, the rest of these have to do with a progression forward, and it seems like the neither of these two isn't a progression, it's just describing other things that are happening in the continuum that aren't manifesting. So these things, that's neither post-meditative, it's neither the exalted wisdom, meditative equipoise, or post-equipoise, it's realizations that are there but aren't manifesting. So it's not progressing forward, it's something that's simultaneous but not active during those other ones. Because to achieve these things that these four that we listed, the four immeasurables, or the realization of emptiness, or the realization of emptiness of duality, those aren't progressing further than the path of subsequent attainment. It's not
progressing.
Well, it's not like a higher level. It's the same level. It's a different thing is manifest. It's not a more advanced level. It's just a different thing manifesting in the continuum. Right? Because, so if you, I don't know. It just seems that all these instances, whenever they say here's thing one, here's thing two, and here's basically everything else that you'll probably have in your mental continuum because you've developed it, but it's not active enough to warrant its own subdivision. You know, it doesn't seem like those things don't build upon subsequent attainment. You don't need to have that subsequent attainment to get those. They don't build on it. They're simultaneous achieved.
The English isn't
So they do progress. They do increase or progress. It becomes higher. So more you meditate on, more you meditate on, the more you do the practice, your realization of four immeasurables, your realization of emptiness becomes progresses, becomes higher and higher, better and better. Is that what you mean? No. But what do you mean then? What do you mean by progressing?
I mean that. So we're saying different attainments are marking my progression on the path, right? So, for instance, realizing emptiness directly moves me from path of preparation to path of seeing, right? The more I meditate on four immeasurables, obviously I'll have a better understanding and different realizations of the four immeasurables.
So,
But
so
do I
you
have
know
to-
there's a direct realization of emptiness in the path of seeing and direct realization of emptiness in the path of meditation.
Yeah.
So is there a difference? Or
Yeah, no, there is, but that's not what that's not my question, I guess. It just seems that within the path of seeing,
yes.
for instance, you have to have gone through the path of meditative equipoise to have the path of release, right? Do you have to have the path of release in order to obtain these things which are neither equipoise or path of release?
Oh, I see.
You see, like there, and because the path of release is building upon path of equipoise. You know, you need it to get there. But these seem like they can happen simultaneously. Or concurrently.
거기다 뒤지지라는 사람이 있어. 세매적 돈이 들어오지라죠. 지금 봐. 강가 제답이지. 제답이지 돈이 들어오지라죠. 다 녀녀지는 로. 받침을 하면 지지. 세매적 현재로 다 받침을 가지면 받침을 터서 봐.
So, in order to achieve the four measurable within the continuum of a person on uninterrupted path, you have to have achieved uninterrupted path. If you haven't achieved uninterrupted path, then you will not have that. Is that what you mean?
No.
Well, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
I can't explain it in a way that makes it clear, so I'll think about it and I'll try again next week.
I just wonder if the English is confusing us, the English translation.
Maybe some other people can say. What do you understand?
So I don't know if it's the same as what I was talking about, but there's a feeling there of you've gone from one thing to the other, but you're just right in between, but not necessarily, doesn't feel like there's a progression from one thing to another. You're just stopped for a second and just sort of gently holding on to the wisdom in a way, but not having, you're released and you're there, and it's
good. Yeah, try.
stop. Cessation and stop. That's what it feels like. So it's not going forward really. It's there, and it's just for a second.
Is that related with what?
That's what I was understanding from him. And I don't know if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, it seems that everything else is building up and up and up, and this isn't a new level. It's just saying this is the other things that are happening.
Right. So like you're sort of each step is like a definitive, they have numbers, and we're at this number, then we're at this number, then we're at this number, and then also we've gone 9, 10, 11, 12, and now all of a sudden we're at this kind of in between 12 and 13, where they say, well, okay, I'm just saying numbers because it's easier than trying to use a concept. Where now it says, okay, not any of those things, it's something else entirely, and so each one has sort of stepped up, it would seem, but now you've kind of hit a point where, is this actually progression anymore? Or like Sultram said, is what's in this paragraph just the things that have been going on the whole time in the background? Is that what you mean, Sultram?
Kind of.
And Tom Joe's still looking at me like, what the heck are you talking about? We'll stop trying.
Okay, now then maybe we can stop today and think about this a little bit more. They're a little bit confused, a little bit tricky, okay?
I have to think about that more.
You have to do puja, but everybody think about it, okay?
Sorry, go ahead.
I just say maybe we do Gewadi for those people that aren't going to stay for puja.
Everyone's going to stay for puja. Who's not going to stay for
the
puja?
internet.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
좀 많이 지제 싸움도 있다.
Maybe I will think about that. What do you mean by that? You can also think about different ways to
Different way to ask it.
ask that question also. But anyway, so you can, Geshe-la is asking you to think about the difference between the exalted wisdom. It has to be exalted wisdom. It cannot be non-exalted. It has to be exalted wisdom. But exalted wisdom that is neither meditative equipoise nor subsequent attainment. Or something like that. Okay?
Okay? Now we start to puja here, puja start here.
Yeah, yeah.